Hello, hello, welcome. Hold on one second, I'm running just a bit late. I see my test stream keeps dying, and I don't like when that happens. Okay. Yeah, we're live. No, what? Yeah, okay, we're live. That was weird. Anyway, we're gonna be writing code. We're gonna be working on our game. Since last time, I played around with the lighting. I think I got it somewhere. And I also added a basic skybox. Basic. There's a sun. There's a, what do you call it? Horizon? Not really. This isn't great. This is actually the built-in physical sky material in Godot. I didn't really play around with it that much. I actually tried drawing something out that resembles a skybox, put it in here, and it had a seam, and I thought that like tiling it would make that seam go away, but that didn't work. And I was like, well, there are other options. Why don't I try those? And like this isn't great, but if I submit this, I won't hate it. So if we have time, we'll come back to it. We won't have time. Also got, oh no, are we live? Hold on one second. Why does this keep? No, this says we're live. Okay. I also sorted out where the experience bar goes, and also drew it. So now we have a little bar that fills up. Ooh. It's not my favorite, but it works, so cool. And I also made the buttons look a little different. And I spent the majority of my time getting this functionality to work. Dragging and dropping. And it's not perfect, because I would prefer if, like, when I pick it up, it also puts a little icon of what I'm dragging there. And I'm going to figure that out. But, that's just a polish thing. The functionality is there. All right, so what are we going to work on today? So I have two things, and I'm going to do at least one of them. One of them is items. We have blocks implemented. It'd be nice to have items implemented. And we don't need them to be complicated. They just need to exist in our hand. They're not going to exist in the world. I don't think we need to implement dropping items. That'd be nice to have, but actually not that important. The other thing is we need to be able to use items. We put them in our hand. They need to exist. The world needs to be able to check on what item is in our hand. And then we need to be able to use them. And we have the use function, right click. That's easy. It's all easy. This should just be great and easy. I've left a lot of to-dos for myself for this exact mission. So we're just going to do it. I have art for a couple of items that I repurposed. We got a pickaxe, and we've got a potion, and I'm just going to implement the pickaxe. And if you're holding the pickaxe, you break stone faster. That's it. And then we'll implement the bottle. And if you use the bottle, it disappears and you gain, I don't know, half an XP bar. Whatever. That's just placeholder. I would like to have the potion affect the temperature. But we haven't implemented temperature yet. And we're actually running out of time for our game jam. We have 12 days and 22 hours left. And I need to spend the remainder of this jam doing a thing in Blender, doing some rigging, and then spamming out content because, like, we're out of time. We were out of time like 8 days ago. We're really out of time. So we're implementing items. We're implementing a height map to make the map look not flat and featureless. We're just going to have a height map to tell the level generator, add a little variety here, and then cool. That's it. Getting started. We'll need to implement temperature next time, because that's You know, that's the one mechanic that I have written down on my to-do list, and the one mechanic I haven't done yet. And we're 18 days into this jam. So that's on me. Let's get going. We have the item, and an item consists of a bool that says, are you a block? A core, a stack, and a collider. And then we have a bunch of functions ready. We don't need to worry about that function. Set items block. No, I don't need to worry about that. At stack limit. We do need to worry about that one. Physics functions, don't care. Is same item. We do need to worry about this one to do get item data. We've got it to do there. And then we get item name. Okay, so we have 4 functions we need to update. Okay. Var item data. Done. That's all for this. Let's go ahead and make the item data. Do I have a separate folder for that? No, and I think we can just like put it inside the item folder. Item data. But let's make the base resource right here. Item data. No, it's not a resource. It needs to be a script. That extends resource. Item data do not get any of those functions. Okay. What do I need? I need a, we need a name. Let's see. What do I have for blocks currently? We got the can break. We got the block limit, which I assume is for stacking. Yes. We've got the break value, which does not matter. We got the block name. So we're just going to want to have a stack limit and an item name. What else do we need? We need a use function. And I think we want this to be something where we take in the item. We've learned that pattern from previous games. And we just pass. Implement. Somebody else implement this. I'm thinking in the case of like the pickaxe, how do we communicate that stone breaks faster? Do we put that logic in the pickaxe or do we put that logic in the stone? It might make more sense to put that in the stone, to just go over to stone and say const, like weak to pickaxe, true. No. No. No, that's dumb. Huh. How does the logic of that work? That's in the input handler. Because that's everything's in the input handler. Physics processor. So we're getting the observed block data break value. That is a variable that we can create a function for. We can say observed block.get break value, and then the break value depends on item This is the kind of thing that, like, if this was a proper game, I should spend more time thinking about this, because there's a smart way to do it and a dumb way to do it. And if I do it the dumb way, I'm going to cost hours and hours of time. But since this is a game jam, and this is something that's likely not going to be go very far, I'm just going to have the pickaxe and maybe like a shovel, and that's it. So maybe I just put the logic in the pickaxe. So what we do is we get this variable, and then we call item break modifier, and we pass in the block, and then we make the item responsible for saying, I can break this faster, lower the time, or no, I can't break this faster, carry on. So what we would do in that case is, we have the player, and the player has an inventory component, and the inventory component has a tool selected. So we should have a function that's like, get currently selected item. And then we'll call the function break modifier or something like that. Yeah. Var blah 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 blah, blah base break value base break value equals player dot inventory component dot get selected item. I already have that function. Nice. Dot what is observed block? It is a collider. Or sorry, it is a block. So we get the item, and then we call the function break modifier. Get break modifier. Observed block. Couldn't I just... Instead of doing this, couldn't I just pass in the observed block and then make that responsible for either returning the break value, or, well, it'll return the break value. It'll return the base break value or the modified break value. Okay, enough. I need this function. Okay. Okay. So we got this, and we'll just return ret. But we also need to be aware of the item. I can delete that, but if I run this now, everything should be as it was. Oh, nope. Oh. Well, okay. If this If there's no tool, then the break value is equal to that, else all right, there we go. Okay. Now running this, everything should be as it was. Yes. Okay. Now we go back to the item and we make this responsible and we say, okay, first of all, get break modifier. If I'm a block, move on. So if we're not a block, right? Yeah. Then we want to check if item data. Okay, we have item data. Then we can go into our item data. Dot, we need to invent a function, apply break modifier. We need to pass in the item, the block, I mean, we can pass in the current modifier. I don't particularly, sure. We'll pass in ret. Okay. Go to the item data. We need to make this function exist. We can just return ret. Time float. Ret time. Okay. And then we will go into our item and we'll implement this function and we'll look at the block and we'll say, is this block a stone? If so, times 75% faster or whatever math. Okay. Oh, I also need this. I need to give this thing a sprite. And it's a sprite 2D, no? Yes, it does a sprite 2D. Because it only exists in our inventory. Or should it be a sprite 3D? Because I think sprite 3Ds can go in 2D. No, sprite 2D. Can I do that? Does that work? No. Texture 2D? Oh, yes. Okay, great. Okay. So we have our item data. I'm gonna go ahead and make, did I really put this in that folder? No, don't put that in that folder. Let's make our first item. Pickaxe. Oh, we're gonna need a script because we're gonna have this apply break modifier. We're probably gonna need a script for most of these because you're either using them or you're applying a break modifier with them. Huh? Let's take a look at this. Oh, no, I don't want to add a resource. I want to actually make an item data. Appreciate learning this trick from last stream. Pickaxe. Yeah, now we have the stack limit. It defaults to 1. We're going to call this the pickaxe. And we're going to give this the texture. I've got this item sheet, and I don't think I can just jump this whole thing in here. Don't think that works. I need to create an atlas texture, jump the whole thing in here, and then... Wait a minute, no. No, I had it right the first time, didn't I? I should be able to just put this whole thing in here and then subtexture it. Right? No. I don't know. This technique is supposed to be very performant. Very good on the performance. Close. There we go. So all pickaxes have this texture now. We still do need to implement the script. That means I need the folder scripts. We don't need any of this. What? Oh, it auto loads the script. Cool. Not the script we need though. We need to apply break modifier. We need to do a quick check. If block dot block data. Okay, so if block data and block. I should have a list of breakables stone dot name resource name. No, I don't think that's what it is. Block name. What was the name of the variable that we gave it? No, it was block name. No, it was block name. In breakables. That would work in Python. I don't think that works in Godot. I don't think that works in Godot. Godot, how do you check if something is in an array? I think there's an array dot like find or has. Yeah, has. Oh, the in operator does work? Oh. Okay, great. Do I have to cast this? So theoretically, we don't have pickaxes implemented yet. That's super easy though. All items in this game will be implemented via recipe or via block, via world gen. And we're not world genning a pickaxe. So we're not world genning anything that's not a block. So we'll just need to make a new recipe. I made this easy for me, passed me, did the legwork so that this should be super easy. Let's see if that's actually true. Let's create a new recipe. I spelled it mostly right. Create pickaxe. So the create pickaxe recipe is just going to consist of the cost. We're going to need stone. We're going to need 3 stone. And the benefit, oh. So we have a name for this, but how does the recipe handle getting the... Oh, I made a function. I made a function in the item for exactly this. So yeah, we just need to get item name. We just need to implement these functions and magically everything should be great. Item data dot. Item data dot item name. There we go. right, is same item. If item name dot if item name equals cool, great, we're good in there. We're rocking it, we're killing it. Oh, why did I do that? We're killing it. One more to do, right? We had 4 at stack limit. Okay. Cool. Theoretically, we're good. Let's go ahead and add. Did I not add the stone? Stone. I would also like to have one more thing to my recipe that says if something can be done more than once, or if it's a one-time recipe and then you make it and then it goes away forever. Because I don't think there's any value in making more than one pickaxe, because we don't have pickaxes break. But before we go deeper down this, I would like to verify that this will work. So we go to our helper. Hello, Fanny Slam. Welcome. Is this for Hypergame Dev GLJ? Yes, it is. This is for Game Like Jam number 10. Making a Minecraft like. We're getting there. Yeah. You know what? There's an easier way to test if this works. By doing it. Let's just do it. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm going to press. I don't even see the recipe there. Great. How do I add recipes to my game? That is added by the inventory handler. Create grass. Where am I adding that? Oh, I'm doing it here? Don't dig straight down. That's right. We gotta implement a fix for that. It's okay. I'm a professional. I'm allowed to dig down. I need to add this recipe. Oh, I'm doing it up here? Where? What? Why do I have this hard coded? I thought like it should be using the button. What did I do? Okay. Am I even using this? I'm not even using that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we have the grass function. That will, I don't remember what that does, but let's make this create pickaxe. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Crash. Okay, unable to instantiate. We need to be able to differentiate between. Oh no, that's my bad. That's my bad. This isn't a string. This I'm gonna keep making that mistake forever. This is not a string though. That's why I was confused. We pass in the pickaxe. Oh, we're passing in a scene? Oh, that won't fly. Oh no. My recipes aren't compatible with how I'm doing items. Unless, what if I be very dirty and I just make a scene for pickaxe and all it is Oh, this won't work. This won't work because my entire UI is built around making sub viewports. Like this icon down here is a sub viewport. And I am not. I'm trying to bypass that by using Sprite 2Ds. Oh, this is okay. This is going to be more complicated than I want. So we've got an item here. We're making a temp block. Oh no, I'm assuming that the thing is okay. I'm assuming that my benefit is always a block. I should have foreseen this. Why did I do this? I didn't even leave a to-do for myself. Did I leave a to-do make this not dumb? I didn't even do that. I did that down here, but crap. Okay, so we need the recipe to identify when we're being told to make a block versus when we're being told to make an item. We can do that, but it means making our recipe a little more complicated. Also, it means I don't know how we, if we want to have a recipe that lets us get a block and an item as a reward, we just need to separate those out. That's basically how we're going to have to do this. So we're going to scrap this thought of just benefit, but we are going to have block benefit and item benefit. We're going to separate those out. Does that mean, just as an aside, does that mean that this has to be a block? Where am I checking the cost? Consume costs. Okay, so we're taking the cost. We're calling check costs. Check costs calls check for item. Check for item does not appear to be, it's using this is same item, and we made this compatible with blocks and not blocks. Okay, so costs handled. We're good. We can make costs that consume tools if we want, that consume not block items. So we just need to worry about the benefit. So let's go ahead and take our recipe here, and we need to separate this out. These functions are useless. I don't know why I wrote them. Get those out of here. Great. We rock on. Now we need to update all of our recipes. Oh, I didn't save. Because now we have an item benefit and a block benefit. Okay. New key, I need to pass in the block. Scene. Oh, that's right. This is dumb. The way I've done it. But there it is. This one is going to have an item benefit, and I think we do need to pass in the pickaxe data. Like we do need to. We're going to be doing that. Oh, that hurts to look at. I don't like it at all. But let's see if the first one works before we go on implementing the second one. Okay, non-existent function get label. Ah. That function was being used. All right. Yep. This is now block benefit dict. All right, so this handles the block benefits, but then we need to go into the item benefits and figure that one out. Okay, so making grass does not work. Why is that? Did this get instantiated? Did I do the wrong thing? Did I just not save? Oh, I didn't save. Oh my god. I hate this. This is supposed to be brilliant. Add. Thank you. Okay, save. And I didn't save this one either. Okay. That's not what I meant. This is not the best interface. I do all of this and then I don't hit save and then throw it away. Don't even warn me that oh, you have unsaved changes. Are you sure you want to throw them away? That was probably the problem. I don't need to review the... Yeah, there it is. We have grass in our inventory. I don't need this print line anymore. Probably don't need most of these print lines. I don't need this print line. Let's go ahead and make a new variable. New variable? Var item block. Nope. Benefit. Dict. This is just going to be very similar to what we did a moment ago. I'm just going to look for the word block, replace it with the word item, and trust that we named things smart enough that that works. And if it doesn't work, then we chastise our past self. Okay. So we create an item. We don't scale it. We don't add it to the block map. Instead, we add it to the player. And then we go to output dot. Oh, I already have the inventory component. We can make this really simple. Yeah, easy. Output dot item data equals benefit. Load benefit. Do you load a resource file? Does that work if I load this path? I'll get the right thing. Let's find out. Add item to env output, and then we get our level component, and we give ourselves some XP. Okay, we're done. This should give us a pickaxe. Dig, dig, duh. It didn't, because we tried to disable physics on something that doesn't have a collider. Why are we calling that? Oh, because we're attaching it. Oh. All of this only makes sense for blocks. None of it makes sense for the items that we're working with. It's totally fine to set up the sub viewport. That's totally fine. We can do that. But we should not reparent the item. We should not disable the physics. We don't need to set the global position because this item doesn't exist. Doesn't even have a sprite. We need to set that up. Or maybe we don't. Can we just pass a texture directly to a color rect? Or actually, do we have a texture rect? We can create a texture rect. We can apply the texture to it and then get on with our lives. That's not a problem. If item param dot is block, then we do all this nonsense. Else I don't know. Let's see what we're missing besides the texture. Does it work? Like, texture side, does it work? Slow mining stone. All right, well, we have something. Does not appear to be making our mining faster. Also, it's not taking up that slot. Oh, it does work. Oh. Okay. So, interesting bug. Do we have for another? Oh, we do. Okay. And then if I switch to this, then we're back to slow mining. And just to confirm, pickaxe does not work on dirt. Yeah. All right, let's just dig all the way to bedrock. What? What? Invalid access to property key break value on a base object of type nil. What? We have an observed block, but it doesn't have a block data? How is that possible? Hold on. Is it because we hit bedrock? Did we mess up bedrock? Yeah, I must have messed up bedrock because that seems to be consistent. Bedrock. Please explain yourself. Your block data is empty. How did that happen? Please give me a pickaxe. Now, why is this? I can't place anything, so I don't have stone there, but the universe still believes that the stone goes there. All right. Yay, we can make a pillar. Now we're Minecrafting. Oh, I need to create a torch. That's an item I need to make. Yes, that's part of, okay. There are things I need to do. All of the art that we made here, these are things I plan on implementing. Pickaxe, already implemented. Mushroom, we're gonna have a food clock. Whatever. I don't think these have a purpose. This is just for like temperature protection. We need a torch. Maybe this bottle can be a torch. I can reuse that as a torch thing instead of as a thing you drink to get experience points, which is very much a placeholder behavior. Let's get the texture in. So according to me, when I create a object, that's a UI thing. That's happening in the UI. The logic for that is in the UI? No. Where's the logic for that? Wait, is it in the UI? It is. We'll have to update this. Oh, that's more functionality I need to add is the ability to add recipes mid-game. I need to do that soon because like that's going to be a core part of the progression is unlocking recipes. We have an item. We need to when we're adding item to inv, we're calling attach item to box. We probably need the inv-rect to also have a texture rect. Just to make sure it is not. Oh, it is a texture rect already. Great, we're done. Let's just set the texture of the IR to the item param and call it a day. IR.texture equals item data param dot item data dot texture. Oh no, come on. And then we need to theoretically have a way of clearing that. Look at that. Oh, why does it look like that? How do I make it not be that? I have to set the, what's the variable called? It looks so out of place compared to the rest of the game. Maybe I should have made it an 8x8 instead of a 16x16. In the inv-rect, we need to set ourselves. Oh no, I don't have the brain thinking to texture. Texture.filter. Yeah, this is it. Equals nearest. Make a pickaxe. Now, why is this not empty? Okay, can I? That's not what I want. Yeah, okay. We just need to clear the. Yeah, we need to. Didn't I do this to do? Pretty sure I did. Inv-rect. Oh, I probably need this detach item from box. Oh, ir.texture equals null. Done. Great. Easy. Bum, bum, bum. I probably should just set it up so that when an item leaves, is the item aware of itself in the UI? No. So what is destroying the item? Item.queueFree. That's happening in the inventory component. Okay, so the inventory component is aware of the UI. So debug this. Great. If this is equal to this item queueFree, we should also get the UI for this particular tool slot, which I think we have a dictionary. No, we don't. But the HUD handler does. Right? What's in the HUD handler? I don't even remember that handler. Ah, the HUD handler has the inv bar, and the inv bar, well, that has, we just give it an item slot and it'll take care of the rest. So is tool slot an item slot? I think it is, yes. Okay, so, okay. HUD handler dot inf bar dot detach item from box tool slot. Done. Flurp, flurp. Cool. That worked. That's exactly what I expected to happen. All right, so now item implemented. Let's implement the second item. Oh man, why does that look so... How does Minecraft get away with this art style? Like, blocks in Minecraft can exist in the inventory next to items, but it doesn't look out of place like this. Can I, like, apply a filter to a sub viewport to make it pixely? That's probably not gonna help. Whatever, don't despair. Let's move on. We have more to do. We need to implement the potion. This is not items. This is items. Create new resource. Just kidding. Create new resource. Item data. We're going to call this strong potion. And it has a texture of Atlas texture, and the texture of Atlas texture is equal to the item sheet applied to the Atlas texture. I feel like there's a smart way to do what I'm trying to do. Like, we should be able to store this Atlas texture somewhere in the editor, and then just let me just real quick. That's not a thing already, is it? No. Nevertheless, there's probably a smart way to do. There's probably a shortcut. All right. Can I just auto slice? No. But can I grid snap? Yeah. There it is. That's our item. We need to do a little more though. Hey there. Oh, welcome. Lillian Rep. Good to have you. Gonna make this strong potion script. We're gonna add the use function, and the use function is gonna be use self, delete self, give player 10 seconds of XP, and then delete yourself. There, we got that. Go ahead and plug this in here. That's how you program. That's the way. Take this function. Now we have the use, or we have the item. Okay. So input handler dot player dot level component dot add experience do I not have this variable? Cat. Oh, I just call it a node. That's on me. Level component. You are a level component. That way the autocomplete can help me out, because I suck at remembering anything. experience plus equals 10.0. Great. And then we take the item dot destroy item. Use item? Oh no, that'll infinite loop. All right, this function doesn't exist, so we need to make it exist. Function. And we're just going to go to the player's inventory component and we're going to tell it to delete ourselves. Ah, we already have this function. Oh no. That's not what this is meant for. I probably actually want to func this is the name that I want. So I should rename this function. So what if we make this consume items? Oh, wait a minute. This isn't taking an array. This is taking in a single thing. So we can use this function. Yeah, we can do this. Oh. That'll get messy. But maybe it's fine. Maybe, because this is a game jam game, we'll just do this sloppily and then no one will notice that if you have two stacks of potions, and you drink from the right one, it'll consume the left one. Is that okay? Let's just make a function delete item. We'll take in an item slot. And then we just turn all this into using that function. And we do it down here too. Oops. And now we have this function delete item. But delete item takes in a slot. Oh. So we need to know what slot we're in. And we can do that because we are a game jam game and we can get away with anything. So input handler dot where is it? It's in the inventory component. Player dot inventory. Okay, I should just var inventory component equals input handler dot player dot inventory component IC dot get the selected item. No, we don't need that. We get the tool selection. Hi, welcome. Good to have you, Dingleberry the 2. Bum, bum, bum. We're going to take, actually, inventory component tool slots. What are you doing? We're working on making items consumable so that we can consume them. But we're not calling them consuming because we already used that verb. We're going to call them deleting items. Tool selection. Oh, I see tool selection. That should give us a slot that we can pass directly into this function. This huge nonsense. Let's see if it works. Oh, I don't have a function to add the potion to my inventory yet. Well, let's make a new recipe. Introducing recipe to make potion. Create strong potion. This has a cost of, I don't know, grass. Because we don't have that much implemented yet. And this gives me an item benefit of... I wish I could just drag and drop this. That would be a little easier. A strong potion. What if we make it 5 strong potions? And I'll say it in all caps because... Okay, I don't remember what we've done and what we've not done, so... Oh. I do remember that we have not added this to the UI yet. So we go up here. We add a third button. All right. Okay. We can make a pickaxe from 3 stone. We can turn 1 dirt and 1 grass, and we can create strong Oh, they don't stack. Okay, right-clicking is doing nothing. So, okay. Okay. I was going to be impressed if that worked, so I'm sad that it didn't. Let's not make this cost grass. Let's make this cost dirt. And let's not make this give 5. Let's make this give 1. Oops. Yeah, no, actually, I did it. Did I? Sure. Okay, and then let's go to our item. Are we calling the function? No. Okay, let's go to our superclass. Oh, I thought I did this. Well, figured out the problem. Else item data dot use item self. Good job, me. Leave a to-do that I don't see. All right. Yeah, we're calling this, and we just consumed our potion, and we can't consume it anymore because it don't have it anymore. That works. Beautiful. All right, so that's officially all of the items that I wanted to implement. These are just placeholders, obviously. Here's the game. We turn 1 dirt into, I don't know. What happens if I do this? Okay. Yes, we shouldn't allow that. All right, so now we're level 6. We haven't added anything that benefits from leveling up. That we'll be doing. Oh, it's dark. What was the other thing I wanted to implement? I can't remember. I said at the beginning of the stream. I didn't write it down. It was important, though. It wasn't items. It was... Okay, let me just... Let me just play for a little bit. Let me just have oh, the height map. That's right. Make the map not completely flat and featureless. Let's add that. That's a kind of a thing. So we've got the level builder. The level builder is responsible for nothing. The world chunk, though, is responsible for building a world chunk that represents, I don't know. And we've got placeholder. I should really make that a to-do so I catch it. This is just a note. We pass in a strategy, and right now the strategy is ignore the strategy and just hard code this feature. But what I would like to do is on the side have a height map, and the height map's responsibility is to, for each y coordinate in the world, reserve a offset for the terrain, and then just build a map of offsets. And what I'm explaining, I don't think that I'm explaining it very well. Right now, this is a world of all zeros. I want to have a map that says like that's -1, and that's -1, and that's -1, and then I want the map to be built a little bit more intelligently than just randomly putting holes in the world. Okay, we got a helper, height, helper. We'll just call it a height map. I don't know. A height map is just going to be a bunch of X and Y coordinates, and it is going to be generated. I think this needs to be static. All my helpers are static, right? Yeah, they are. So this is best to be static as well. So we just want to have one ginormo array. Trying to think, do I generate a fixed size and then just roll with that, or do I generate something? How? Oh, this probably requires research. How does Minecraft generate its maps? To where like you generate 8 chunks and they look contiguous, and then you generate the 9th chunk and it looks like it connects to the previous chunk. How does that get do? Because what we could do, make something look really ugly and stupid. We could just random number, and then we don't even need to save the random number because there's no point in calling this function twice. We can just, what's my height? I don't know, 7. Boom. And then we just get some nonsense terrain. Then we could have like a smoother go out and smooth the terrain, but that can't be efficient. That can't be smart. That has to be silly. So what we could do is we could have like a starting point. Like we hard code a starting point, and then we randomly pick like a height for that, like between 2 and -2, and then we apply some randomness to set the height map for adjacent blocks, and then just propagate that out. And then if we need to get a new height, then we just draw a line and we get the height for every connecting block. That sounds super inefficient. There's got to be an efficient way to do this. Oh well. Var height map is going to be a dictionary of vector2's to int. Vector2i to int. And then man, I don't have any confidence. How many chunks around a cube do you need when you factor in the corners? I don't need one. 26 cubes touch a cube, hence buffer spaces in all directions. Oh, this is dirty. I was supposed to be washing that glass today. Whoops. I'll go do it after the stream. I'll do it in an hour. I don't have the confidence to implement this on stream. So I'll just do something. And then make this not dumb. All right, now we're exonerated. Now we can do whatever we want. So let's go ahead and do something dumb. So if you factor in every face and corner, 26. I am trying to see how that connects. I'm going to put that aside for a moment. Here we're going to for I in range 8, for j in range 8, we're going to, no, I shouldn't say that. This is range 3. Let's pick a random spot from 0 to 16 x and 0 to 16 y. Var starting point. Just do 8 around the middle. From randi range 0 to 16, randi range 0 to 16. And then around that starting point, we can set the default height to 0. Yeah. Maybe instead of this, it's -1, 0, 1. Okay, and then height map dot get or set. And we pass in a vector2i starting point, nope, point plus vector2i ij. Set that to 0. All right, we have our starting height map. Now we need to iterate. What we could do is we could say, I should save this starting point. If we ever need to generate a point, we draw a line, and I think there's a function for this in Godot. We draw a line. I mean, it's not like there's math for this, and that math is implemented in Godot. We draw a line from wherever we say to the starting point. And then we go from the starting point and we walk point by point and we look at the height map. And if the height map exists, great. And if the height map doesn't exist, we generate it. And we'll generate it by saying, look at the previous point. And then we will randomly go up or down 1. And then that's it. Everything that's the entire logic. We did it. Func get point vector 2i. Cool. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Dest is a vector 2i. Now I need to figure out is there distance, clamp, path? One of these should return a vector 2i array. This might not be something that's in the vector 2i, which is why I was Googling it. A star grid? Tell me about that. If I get, okay, give point path. Nope, get ID path. Is there a good, can I just use an A star grid instead of a dictionary? This class supports, I'm not, this isn't for searching. This is just for a height map. But maybe I could. Pathfinding. I don't care about pathfinding. No, but we can still use an A star grid and just steal the math. Get ID path. What were the other options? Custom line algorithm. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be better in terms of that math, but there has to be like an easier way. All right, let me look at vector 2i, and I'm just going to not thrash around too hard. Distance squared to distance to length squared, max, maxi, mid-axis index, sign snapped. Let me just Godot path between 2 points math, because I think there's a like actual name navigation server. Path 2D. Calculating path between 2 points on a grid. Floyd, that doesn't sound right. Lee algorithm, that doesn't sound right either. No, it's a fancier name. Dijkstra, no. What is this? Manhattan distance, A star. No, path is the wrong word. Route? I'm not interested in path finding. Calculating a line between 2 points on a grid? Calculating points between 2 points on a grid. The distance formula. No, I don't think that's right. Oh, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm certain that there's something, that there's a function that gives me exactly what I'm trying to do. No, stop giving me the Euclidean distance. I'm not. Did I say distance anywhere? Why does this think I want distance? Minus distance. Military map. Geographic. Calculating shortest path between 2 points. As the crow flies. I don't fucking... Straight Haversine? That... No, that's not. That can't be right. It's got some weird Greek symbols that are definitely not. Corbett path? All right, how is the A-star grid doing it? I was using the A-star algorithm, of course. That's not... this isn't going to say what math it's using. Creating a line between 2 points on a grid. Drawing lines on an algorithm. Bressenham? That sounds right. This sounds like what I was trying to remember. Yeah, this gives a bunch of... This gives you all the coordinates you need to take into account to create a line. Does this exist? Geometry 2D. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay. I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah. Okay. From vector 2i to vector 2i, and this gives me an array of vector 2i's. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yes. Is this static? Is geometry 2D a static object? Let me just find out. It looks static to me. Starting point, dest. Okay. Okay. So now we get is the order of the array something that we can count on?
Fuck.
I'm going to trust that it is. And if I'm wrong, well, you know what? To do, make this not dumb is right there. We're going to go ahead and for var, oh, how do we do this? Lines in, nope. For I in points dot size. Points. We're starting at our start point, which is let's just keep our brain meats eased up on and assume this is at 0, 0. So we're starting at 0, 0. So if I is 0, no, what am I doing? For each point, var point is equal to height map dot get points I. If point continue. I don't know why. Sure. I don't know why I wrote that. Else we need to get the point. So if I is 0, then panic. Let's get the previous point. Height map dot set our current point.
Jesus.
Set that equal to the previous point plus or minus 1. Plus randi range -1 to 1. All right, we're done. That's it. We're done. A world array of 10 by 10 chunks. Imagine it. It's a lot of chunks. A location array displaying 3 by 3 chunks around you. Let's see it in action. How we're going to do this is we need to make the height map exist somewhere. Somewhere needs to exist. Probably this world chunk? No. The level builder? How does the level builder happen? We are creating it here. That's fine. Let's just go here. When we initialize a level, I wrote this to do, but I don't remember if I did it already. I think we have multi-chunk awareness. Var. It's all arrays down to the turtle man. Array city. Var. Height map is a height map. Cool. Height map shape 3D. It's already a thing. Did I not name this? Nope. Height map equals height map dot new, and then we take our height map and we add it to ourselves. Nope. Great. And then I've never used a FID array in production. Someday. Got to work up to that though. I mean, 40 is perfectly cromulent. 5D, definitely extravagant. We take our position. Wait, no, this is, where are we setting the chunk height? In the world chunk? Oh, we're doing it here? Where am I calling build chunks? Where am I calling this function? That's where the height map should be. What'd you call it? Here? Oh. All right. Get this out of here. At some point, I'm going to have to move this out of this ready function too. Oh, I put a to do. Okay, good. All right, let me take this. Okay, now we have a height map. Now we can pass that into when we build chunk. We're passing in a 0. Let's also pass in the height map. It probably could be something we tie into the strategy. But anyway, I can probably put this out here. Height map dot. Can I not name things like this? Can I be a little more consistent so I don't go any more insane than I already am? I need to manage my insanity. Height map dot get point vector 2i ik print. Nope. Let's just add height to all of these variables. Okay, now the moment of truth. Instant crash. Oh. Somehow we have gotten a point that don't exist. No, it exists. It's right there. What do you mean? All right, hold on. Wait a minute. Where's my point variable? Why is it 0? Heightmap.get points I didn't get the point. Oh, I see. This is backwards. That's why. Oh, okay. Well, you know, we can still work with that. Is there a way to reverse an array? Reverse array. There is an invert. Oh. We could also, I think there's a way to do this backwards. No, it's easier to just reverse the array. Items.reverse. Okay, great. Did I? Yeah. Both methods modify the original array in place and return void. Oh, okay, so don't do this. Point.reverse. If AI is to be trusted, which non-existent function reverse in base int. Oh. Oh, I'm dumb. Yeah, we're doing this way too late. Points.reverse. There we go. Okay. It's not space madness, it's chonk madness. Why is my game frozen? Assertion failed. Okay. Oh, wait, why is this null? It shouldn't be null. What? I is 0. 0 is 0, 0. 0, 0 may not be the starting point. Is it the starting point? No, the starting point is 4, 2. Oh, reversing was wrong. Wait, how did we get that error before? Did you fail chonk school? I plead the fifth. Okay, so hold on. 13, 15, but that's the start. Right? Starting point is 13, 15. So this wasn't reversed. This is in the order that I'd expect it to be. And the bug is that 13, 15 does not exist in this height map. Except there it is. Oh, but the problem is it's 0. So this is a 0. Okay. Damn it. What I actually want this to be, I want this to be a check. Height map dot has points. I'm just checking to see, does this exist in the dictionary? I keep running into this problem where I'm like, I want to make sure I have an int. Do I have the int? Yes or no? And then I just go, is int? And it turns out that int is no if it's 0. But 0 doesn't necessarily mean you don't have an int. 0 is a valid int. Oh. What happened to the debug label? I don't know. Invalid operands. Int and nil an operator. Why is this returning nil? It should never return nil. Oh, did we not return? Oh yeah, no. Get point. We never return the point. Smart. -1 start state, 0 off, 1 on. 100. Oh, okay. Well, you know. We should probably bias that RNG a little. Now that I see this, this is actually exactly what I should have expected. Because we're just modifying the terrain plus and minus 1. Can we figure out where the I'm gonna guess this is the initial point because it looks like no, that's not necessarily true. All right. If randef is less than 0.10, then we do this. Else, we don't. Yeah. This doesn't look great. So, looking into how Minecraft does it, kind of gonna be a big, something to do with Perlin noise, I'm sure. Perlin noise is the magic words you say when you want good looking terrain. You just Perlin noise. Does Godot have a Perlin noise function? As a noise function. Somehow I think this is not what I want, but maybe I could use it anyway. Fast noise light class. That sounds made up. Generates noise using the fast noise light library. Hold on. Is this what everyone's been using? Is this the easy mode make terrain? Fast and Perlin plus cellular. All right, well, I am not going to do all the research on stream of just oh, cool, A+, nice. I'm going to do that off stream, but I get the feeling that this is actually, this is why I wrote this to do, so that I don't do things this way, because this is the result. Oop. It does work. This is varied terrain. The problem is, it does not look natural. It's kind of suspicious, these diagonals. I think I know the math of why that's happening, but that's not how it should be. Wave function collapse procedural generation. That does not sound right, but I will research and learn. The only terrain gen that I'm actually familiar with is fractal generation, and that is not this. So, and that's not what I want. So, kind of useless information. Learning the way that regular developers make terrain, probably more valuable. It's one of those simple algorithms. Is it like the one called simple? Oh, there is no algorithm called simple, but you want to learn something called biomes. Ah. Oh, no, okay, hold on. That's noise expression. Fast noise light, okay. This looks like a video I could watch off stream, and this one, and well, these less so, but I have homework. I have homework for my Game Jam game. Ooh, I don't have time for this. I got 12 days left to figure out. But I will, and we'll get that squared away tomorrow. And then I need to, what else? Oh, I need to get temperature added. We'll get the temperature bar added tomorrow, or I should say next stream. And then we will try and start slapping in more content. I did spend a big chunk of today looking at stock assets, free assets, to see if there's anything that we can use. And I mean, these items are stock. I shouldn't say stock. They're free assets that have been snapped to the color palette that I'm using. The problem with using stuff online is that it needs to be recolored to fit the palette that I have, and that takes enough time that just drawing what I need straight up is not much more time. It's not a time save, but I'm gonna have to jam out a lot more assets to make this game have content. So I'm still gonna do it. You can use Perlin and then height color range. Swap in wave function collapse later if you have time. Wave function collapse does not sound like, is that a real thing? Wave function collapse castle generator. Okay, so constraint based algorithm. Okay, I will look into that. I've never heard of that algorithm, so that's why I'm like, I don't have any experience with it. I have mainly heard a lot about Perlin noise and fractal generation, so no comment. There's another trick. Give me. I'll write it down and then probably stop the stream there so that I have A, time to read, B, time to clean this class because it's quite dirty, and time. Oh, you want to be on camera? Oh, hello. Okay, this is unusual. Got a guest. Hello there. You never want to do this. The NFT kids made generators in Blender that work for us. Make lots of iterations of Blender. Oh, if there's a way to do this in Blender, I'd love to dig into that. Yeah. She's usually very camera shy. It's really hard to get her on camera. So, character generator NFT. Got it. Probably less likely to actually learning things in Blender takes a while, because I do not know that tool very well. I know it well enough that like I know how big it is, how much of a rabbit hole it is. So if there's like a really complicated way to do everything in Blender and just output a map that I can import and like, if that's a thing, that may not necessarily be the best way for me. You can make a fast generator. Well, let me Blender. Is it like Blender character generator? NFT? I don't. Do I generate height map? Is this just telling me what I want to read? Save out the pattern. A root node generates shapes in 3D space. Oh, and Godot. Oh, yeah. Or are nodes a thing in Blender? Is that the language? I know Blender has the tree. In Blender, okay. Yeah. Intermixing wordage. Got it. Just making sure I understand. Do you know if that's something that's like base Blender, or do you need an add-on for? Oh my goodness. Or do you mean save out generate shapes as in like generate a cylinder? I don't know. I'll figure it out. There are heaps of them and you can make it easily. I will figure it out and come up with something. I'll probably spend several hours tomorrow just looking at every option. Fun. Next time, we're going to make this map look not like this. And then we're going to implement the temperature bar, and then I think that's it. Oh, we should also implement a little. I don't think I want to have invisible walls. I was thinking about it, and implementing invisible walls would be fine, but I think what would actually be easier is to just implement like a catch where if you jump off the world, it just puts you back in the starting point. And then that can unlock the potential for us to create islands, floating islands, and then we can you potentially travel to another island, and then you adjust. We set up variable areas to catch the player if they fall off and put them back into the game. I don't want this chunk to be the only chunk. But I also don't think we have the design that lets us just infinitely generate chunks. The game is not optimized for that. Last thing. I'm gonna go put that over there, bring up the debugger. Another method is Pillow and Python. Doing it in Pixels. Oh, I could do it in Python. That is something I can look up. I'm nervous about doing that because I don't know if it'll be fast. Like I could easily spend 3 days working out a solution that does it in Python and generates like a noise image, and then I import that into Godot, and then I write up the like convert image into a height map. Easily done, but also something that can soak up time like crazy. Character generator and geometry nodes. In Python? Oh, in Pillow. Blender geometry node. Oh, that's a it's a Blender thing. Oh. GeoNodes is Blender. Okay. One more thing, add to the pile. I was going to look at, where was it? Monitor. Like, are we getting 60 frames per second? Oh, no, we're not. That's not the profile. This is the profiler. Start. Bring this back up. So if we look over here, our render viewport spikes. And if we look over here, it's a lot easier. We don't have occlusion culling because we are in compatibility render mode. So every single block that exists is being rendered that we can see. And we could spend like 5-6 days optimizing that, and then we can generate infinite chunks, but I don't think that's going to matter. What's up? Are you doing greedy meshing? I don't know what that is. Is that a Godot setting? No, that's a general block-based voxel thing, crucial for any resemblance performance. I don't know how to check. Let me just... I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess no, that is not happening. Because if it's not something that Godot is doing, I'm not doing it. Makes a huge difference. Well, that looks complicated. Is there an easy way to do it? Oh, wait, it's for a jam? Huh? I'll look into that. But I don't... My expectation is that we're not going to be generating infinite chunks. And there's a possibility that this is too many chunks, and we will actually need to optimize. I haven't tested it on my test device, so I do think that this engine runs a little slower in debug, so I shouldn't take the performance that I'm seeing right now as indicative of anything. So I do need to test it so that I can tell if I have more leeway to add chunks. But my plan is to extend content. We're going to generate new chunks off in the distance. And then we're just going to teleport the player back and forth. So that's what you get. I think there's a greedy meshing voxel system for Godot as an add-on. Greedy meshing wouldn't be something you could skip. I think there's a greedy meshing voxel system for Godot as an add-on. I will look into it, but this is where I stop. I am done. We've had a successful stream. We've implemented items, and we've implemented the height map. But it's dumb, and we have a to-do to make it not dumb. So next time, we'll make it not dumb. Next time, other stuff. I don't want to impose anything. No, it's all good. I have a big pile of reading to do already to learn about the best way to implement a height map in Godot. All these tabs. And nothing wrong with one more thing. Keep your own game in mind, but it's usually things like cap the scope. Yep, it's true. And we've only got 12 more days, so we keep rolling. Anyway, on Xylan Godot voxel. That'll be the last thing I do. Voxel module. Okay. We'll look into that. Anyway, this is where I stop. If you could do it before launch, that would be great. I can make no promises as to when I next stream, because every time I make a promise, life gets complicated. So I hope it's tomorrow. If not, then we're gonna run out of time, and this game may not like come together in time. But 12 days should be enough time. So I'm not whatever. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Hope your game dev is going well. Hope you're playing lots of fun games. Hope the weather's treating you nice. Hope you're eating lots of good food. See you all next time.